Just the way I look, just because I look like a bum, a quote unquote bum, does not mean anything. So, but just because she's light skinned, she looks okay. Okay. Okay.
Ah, shit. Get your tea and your popcorn because we have hit yet another psychological jackpot. So this man went viral recently because he was kind of implying that if you think he looks like a bum or if you treat people differently based on them dressing like bums, then you are a colorist and a texturist.
How don't I look good? How don't I look good? I look great with my natural black hair. I look good with my black.
And I wanted to go over some of the comments as well because there were a whole bunch of unambiguous people saying that their light and brown skinned family members don't get along with them. And my first question is, okay, if your light skinned family is colorist, if you truly think they're colorists or classists, why are you in the car with them? Why are you hanging out with them? Why didn't you go no contact with them? Why are you still approximating yourself to them? So do you see what I mean about this love-hate relationship that some people have with you when you're considered privileged in the black community? So it's this talking point of, oh, I hate you, you're colorist, you're classist, you think you're better than me. Oh, but at the same time, I still want to hang out with you, though. I still want to ride in your car, though. I still want to be seen next to you.
How don't I look good? How don't I look good? I look great with my natural black hair. I look good with my black.
Notice how his family members are saying that you want to look good when you go out, and he randomly brought up his natural hair. The family said absolutely nothing, and then he pauses and he puts this text on the screen. He said, "They have, though. I recall multiple times in my life getting called a bum by both of them simply because my hair be unkept. I recall getting sent back inside or left home just because of the way I looked by my own family. They want me to hate my natural self." So if you don't want to wear your hair like his, it's a form of self-hate. That's what he's saying in this sentence right here. So my question for this man, are all of the women who wear wigs and weaves and lace fronts and relaxers and silk presses, are all of those women self-hating? That's my question for this man. Because the unambiguous black community puts type 3 hair textures on a pedestal all the time. Anything that is not a 4C, they put it on a pedestal, but then you turn around and then you get mad when people don't like your hair in its quote-unquote natural state. But he says that several times they called him a bum, and it's like, okay, if your family members have called you bums or they were texturists or colorists, why are you waiting 25 and 30 years to finally address it? Why are you scared of your own family members? Why have you not gone no contact? Why are you suddenly waiting until 30 years later, you're putting it on TikTok for content randomly? Instead of actually cutting them off, you just put it on TikTok. And then he doesn't even bring up them calling him a bum in this conversation.
I don't have to get oppressed based off the way I look.
Okay, so this man says, I don't have to get oppressed based off the way I look. Meanwhile, how are these two light-skinned family members oppressing him? Notice how they address everybody except for the actual oppressors. No smoke for white men. No smoke for the people who created the systems of colorism, texturism, or featureism. But they've got all the smoke for random light-skinned family members. Like, sir, these people are sitting in the exact same car as you. How are they oppressing you when they're giving you a ride in their car? So you're oppressing me. You're giving me a ride in your car, but you're still oppressing me, though. You are my oppressor.
I look good with my baggy clothes. I don't have to dress up just to impress anybody.
Notice how he says, I don't have to dress up just to impress anybody. Okay, so then you can't get mad when people are not impressed by your hair or they're not impressed by your sweatsuit. How are you going to say, oh, I don't have to appease you, I don't have to accommodate you, but then you get mad when people are not accommodating you either? Do you see the hypocrisy there? It's this talking point of, I get to express myself and you need to celebrate me. And then if you don't celebrate how I look the same way that I would, then you are a colorist or texturist.
You want to call it? What's toxic is the fact that y'all yelling in my car. Calm down, guys. Okay.
And then you're just Zoe unproductive. Everything that you speak out be so counterproductive to what we're talking about.
So now the light-skinned girl who's driving the car, Zoe, she says, hey, can you guys stop yelling? And then he says, you're being counterproductive. So now, not only do I have to bow down and worship your natural hair, your baggy sweatsuit, but now if you start yelling in my car and I say, please stop it, now that's me being unproductive at this point because I don't let you disrespect me in my vehicle that I paid for. And this also leads me into one of my other controversial talking points, which is that unambiguous people always need the help of somebody light skinned. They always need the help of somebody with type 3 hair. Always need the help of somebody with keen features. You're riding in the car of a light skinned woman. So it's this talking point of, oh, I don't like you, you're colorist, but I still want access to your resources. I still want access to your lifestyle, which is, the car that you drive, the dating options that you have, the status that you have, the beauty pedestal that you have. This is just another symptom of that same inferiority complex.
You be irrelevant. Mom, well, act like it. So, act like it. Act like it and communication. If you know how to communicate effectively.
So now, from what I just heard, he seems to be calling his own mother irrelevant. Okay, so if we are so irrelevant, why are you riding in our cars then? Why are you begging for us to validate your experiences with colorism? Also, this is another thing that I've noticed. When it comes to the colorism conversation, dark-skinned, unambiguous people, they're not okay with just talking to other dark-skinned black people. They don't value the dark-skinned, black, unambiguous audience. They want to have the audience of light-skinned people. They want non-black people and white people to listen to them. So it's this mindset of, oh, I don't have to listen to you. I get to call you irrelevant. I get to yell and scream in your car. But if you don't listen to me, then you're the colorist. So they're using colorism as a weapon to be heard.
Nobody just wants to be argumentative.
Nobody wants to be argumentative, but that's hurtful.
It's not the right point.
I'm not saying all the time it's not, but it's.
It ain't right now.
But it is. You're saying that just because someone looks that you're going to treat them a certain way just because someone that looks.
You get treated a certain type of way based off how you look. If you come in looking like a bum, you're going to get treated like a bum. What are you saying?
Okay, so notice how the light-skinned family member, she says if you come looking like a bum, you're going to get treated like a bum. She said nothing about if you come in being dark-skinned or if you come in with your hair nappy, then you're going to get treated like a bum. She didn't say any of that. All she said was looking like a bum, and you could argue, some people were arguing that his outfit does actually look like a bum.
I said coming in just being black, dark skin, and with your hair. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you think it is.
But that's what it is.
Okay, so notice how they're arguing about two different things. I have noticed that people with inferiority complexes, they do this all the time to Exoticals. They argue with things that we never said. He literally says, oh, well, but that's what it is. It's skin tone. It's my hair. And the sister said several times, I'm not talking about your skin or your hair. I'm literally talking about looking like a bum overall, as in, your overall aesthetic, like outfits.
There's people who come in dressed professional, but just because their hair and just because their skin, they get stereotyped. That's what stereotyping is. I know you've seen stereotype before.
Okay, so now he's doing that thing again where he's arguing with something that these women never said. They're talking about people who dress like bums. And he brought up, oh, there are black women who dress professional. Well, the women weren't talking about black women who dress professional look like bums. They said people who dress like bums are more likely to be treated like bums. But do you see how he's trying to throw skin tone and hair texture into it? So that's a form of projection. He feels like the thing that defines him is his skin tone and his hair texture. So when he hears the word bum, he's correlating that with being black and having natural hair. So that sounds like a personal problem because his mom and sister specifically said, we are not talking about your hair and your skin. Also, usually if somebody is truly a colorist, they don't want to birth dark-skinned black children. Like, no offense, but like, if somebody is a legit colorist, then they don't even want to breed with people who are dark-skinned. They don't even want to create children who are dark-skinned with quote-unquote nappy hair. So I find it interesting that people, they love calling people colorists when that person literally made a baby with somebody who's dark-skinned on purpose. Or they made dark-skinned children several times, yet you're calling them colorists. I've noticed that people, they seem to conflate arguing back and forth with being a colorist. If you don't agree with me, you're a colorist. If you say anything negative about my outfit, you're a colorist. If you don't think I look like a supermodel, you're a colorist. If you don't want to date me, you're a colorist. Do you see how the defense mechanism for everything is just colorism, colorism, colorism? So let's look at these comments. This person says, as a brown skin in a family of light skins, this is my daily. Someone else says, yep, both sides never accepted me. So that shows that whenever they tell you as an exotical that the white side will never accept you, that's actually a form of projection because look at their comments right here. When they're speaking amongst themselves, they're actually admitting that they actually don't feel accepted by the different skin tone communities. So that's why they try to project it on mixed race people. Or let's say you're dark skinned and you benefit from texturism or featurism. they want to convince you, oh, the light-skinned people will never accept you. And it's like, no, your light-skinned family didn't accept you. So you're projecting. Let's look at this comment here. He says, your light-skinned family are classist and colorist. That's like what he put on the thumbnail. So if you don't like this outfit that he was wearing, according to him, that is classist. So if your aesthetic does not include baggy sweatshirts and stuff, then I guess that makes you classist. And it's like, are you going to keep the same energy for the entire capitalistic system, or are you just going to embarrass your friends and family on TikTok? Because do you see how they always pick and choose who they fight against? They pick and choose who they want to pinpoint. No smoke for white people, no smoke for the white men that they want to sleep with, no smoke for the white women that they want to date. No smoke for people like Beyonce or Rihanna, who they love and worship and bow down to, and Cardi B, who they begged her to create a hair care line. Somebody says, you look like a supermodel. The hate and envy is real. This person says, I've been going through this my whole life, being a dark skin in a light and brown skin household. And it's funny because she's most likely going to create a light or brown skin household because she's probably going to get with a man who's lighter than her. And she's most likely going to birth children who will be brown or light skinned. So you're going from one light and brown skin household to another, ma'am. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comments section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.